Hello everyone, so we're shooting 300 yards today with this Primary Arms, what is the 1 to 10 by 24 GLX scope. So that's at 10 magnification. Let me zoom back. That's at 1 magnification. So this is an excellent reticle. Really great for like target acquisition. That's at 100 yards right there. And then that's at 200 yards there. I would definitely want to zoom in a little bit for that. Right, because this, you may want to shoot this in 1x for a wider view. And when you go to 200, zoom up a little bit to maybe about there, about 2 or 3 magnification. And then for 300 yards, yeah, I want to get max magnification. So we're gonna shoot 5 rounds at that steel plate. I think it's like a goat or something. Get into position here. So let's shoot that first. Hopefully this camera doesn't, this scope camera doesn't fall apart on us. Take 5 shots on this, and I'll check the camera, make sure it hasn't shifted. Can't tell if I hit it. So I don't see any splashes in the background. Yeah, so I don't know if I got hits. Let me check that. Make sure that the camera hasn't shifted. That looks like it's good. We load up another magazine. So the ammunition I'm using is Bitterroot Valley 223. A friend of mine gave me this ammo to try out. I already did a review on this, so I'm like, let's see what this does at some distance today. So let's take this out now to the paper. So let's see. I don't have a bullseye on that paper, so I just kind of have to center it in the center. Check this bubble level on this rifle. Okay, about there. Definitely pulled that to the left. All right, so let's go see what we did. So I got the gun bagged in the front, and basically I'm just supporting it in my chest on the back. So there's a little bit of movement here. Actually, I just noticed that underneath the chevron, there's a dot. I mean, I use a 50-yard zero on this, so that gives me a second zero at 200. And then the top of that, the spine of that line is 300. So I guess that second dot would probably come in somewhere around 250 for me. Well, let's go down right and see if we got any hits. So while I'm walking, you know, I when I'm shooting, let's say at 50 yards, 200 yards, you know, in between, and I'm like, a lot of times I'm like, you know, like shooting like benched. One of the things I've noticed is that, you know, the scope is like, it's parallaxed for 100 yards. And what that means is that, I mean, you're not going to have a perfect focus at different distances, but, you know, especially if I go like up close, if I'm shooting like 10 yards and you're trying to zero in on the bullseye, it's not going to be a perfect focus, but it's good enough. Looking at these targets, I can see that on the steel target here. First of all, at the 300 yards, I couldn't hear any impact on this. Like I couldn't hear anything, so I had no way of knowing if I had hit it. I can see I got 2 hits, 2 fresh hits, one there, one there. But I didn't hear anything. So this particular target, and it looks like it was a broken target because this looks like it's supposed to be a swinger, and they just kind of threw it up here. So, but anyway, on the paper, shit, I went to the wrong paper. I meant to shoot the one on the left, and I ended up shooting the one on the right here, which I shot with the 308 before, with the Vepr 308. So I did not mean to shoot this paper, but whatever. This is what I was aiming at. So the new hole. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's it. 4 hits. I did see that one. 4 hits. Let me get a tape measure on this. Yeah, shot the wrong target. So this is with the Bitterroot Valley, which is pretty budget ammunition, 300 yards. With the Palmetto 223 Wild. And at 300 yards, I've got about 12 inches. The paper, well, actually, the paper is bent. It's 11 inches. The paper's going to stretch out to like 12. Because right now it's bent. So it's about 11 and a half, something like that. So yeah, 11 and a half inches with this Bitterroot Valley at 300 yards, which I would consider pretty budget ammunition. And the other thing is I'm shooting through I'm looking through the camera scope. So it's not a very comfortable way to look through it, because it kind of dims it down. So it's not like I'm going to shoot again without the scope camera. We'll see if I do better. I'll shoot on this one over here, the fresh one. I have to try to mark this somehow because I'm kind of like just holding in the general center of this paper. I forgot to bring, normally I bring like a little piece of blue tape or something and I'll put it there, but I forgot to bring something, so I don't have a way to mark my bullseye right now. So I'm just kind of holding in the center of the paper. But yeah, that's where we're at, shooting from 300 yards back there. The 300 yards what I would consider like shouting distance. So if I was shooting to somebody back there, like I can't carry on a conversation across 300 yards, but I could definitely say like move left, move right, take cover, like basic commands. You can shout that out at 300 yards. So 300 yards is in an open field is shouting distance, and that's definitely a distance that everybody with a rifle should have some experience with. You can't just go to these indoor ranges where you're just shooting at 50 yards. Some ranges max out to 100 yards. You got to get to a 300 yard range because that is like well within shouting distance. Hey, I wanted to show you guys some features of the auto ranging of this reticle. This is an excellent reticle because you got those outer lines that guide you to the center, and then you got that large outer horseshoe. But when you zoom in, right, first thing that's going to become really useful is the auto range. Right? So if those papers over there if that was like a man, right? If you can see right there, like I can match him up to that line, head to foot at the 5. So he would be at 500 yards. So if I was going to shoot him with a 5200 yard zero, I would basically center, like right there, that would be a headshot, right? That line, the 4th mil line. So you got 3, so the top of the spine is 300, then 400, then 500. So that second horizontal hash that I have in the center of the paper is what I would hold for a chest shot, right there. So this is an excellent feature. And then you got this grid where if you're shooting against the background, right, where you can spot the impacts. So if I saw that I'm holding there and I see that the impact is, let's say, on a dot like 2 mils over to the right, I would just transfer that to the target, right? So wherever I spot the impacts, that's my new aiming point. So this reticle from Primary Arms, I think it's called the M10, is really an excellent reticle. And you can zoom back, and then you got a great CQB scope that guides you to the center. And it's first focal plane, so that the measurements, like I don't have to go to max magnification to measure. I can be at, any magnification. Like right now, I can measure that person right there at 500 yards and then transfer over there, boom, 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 because that gives me the wider field of view, right? If I need to be able to see what's going on down here at 200 yards while I'm shooting up there at 300 yards, I'm able to do that with the scope. I'm able to zoom back and I can do both things. I can shoot at 300 yards, but observe below that at 200 yards.